What is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new series. This is sort of it's a series basically asking a question: is it safe to bring back a certain card, even if it's just for a format? We should, I believe that every card should have the ability to be tested to at least see where they're at. For instance, Snash Deal we tested the waters with Snash Deal, and we turned out that it was still unhealthy for the game, even though looking at the card, you probably could already tell. However, there are going to be a few rules for this series. First rule is that we're not going to be discussing cards that are recently banned, so cards like Exciton Knight, Towers, Shurit. We're not going to talk about those cards because mostly they just got banned, and it would really defeat the purpose of discussing them if we already know what they do, as of right now. And the next thing, we're also not going to be focusing on errata. So cards like Demok and Chaos Emperor Dragon, we're not going to focus on those either, because they're bound to come off the list eventually because of their errata. Thirdly, we're also not going to be discussing cards like Snash Deal because they've already been tested the water. So if a card gets banned, if a card gets, let's say, limited, we're not going to be discussing that card if it gets banned again. So. Now, but first we're going to discuss a card that everyone knows about, but I don't think everybody has a chance to play, and that is Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is one of those cards that people have. It's often seen transitioning from 1 to 0, and vice versa. It's always been one of those cards that people have often said that this card is way too good for the game, and to an extent, I agree. To an extent. The reason why I say this is because stealing an opponent's monster from their graveyard is kind of worse than actually just taking control of it for a turn, or even, I think it's even worse than Snatch Steal in some regards, because now that you have the ability to utilize that monster, it is really dumb. It's really good. However, in a format where they're trying to push the pendulum mechanic and everything else like that, it doesn't make much sense for them to keep this card banned, since pendulum monsters don't go to the graveyard for the most part. And it's going to be really difficult to utilize a pendulum monster that has been sent to the graveyard effectively. Secondly, we also have enough. We also are in a game state where it doesn't particularly matter where a card goes. The opponent, if you play this card, your opponent is most likely faster than you. They can easily establish a board without you actually needing to even play this card. So, in my opinion, I think that Monster Reborn could come back to 1, and I think it could come back permanently. And it wouldn't do anything. It's not the same effectiveness as Call of the Haunted, because Call of the Haunted is utilized completely different. One being that it's a trap, and two, that it puts it in attack position and it only works for your graveyard. And I think that with Monster Reborn, it's kind of as limited as Call of the Haunted, because cards such as this often can't grab things that are useless to you. So, for example, if you're playing, let's say, Burning Abyss, you probably shouldn't grab any Shaddoll monsters out of your opponent's graveyard. You should probably grab the Mathematician, perhaps, or something of that nature. However, one person can also counter the argument by saying, well, if you're facing Necros, you just Monster Reborn their Unicorn, and, well, your opponent can't activate cards in the extra deck. So, well, but rarely ever do you see that Unicorn lasting beyond that one turn, for me. At least for me, I've never had it happen, because I've usually removed it immediately. So anyway, I honestly think that Monster Reborn, as a final decision, could come back to 1. I think anything more than 1, it could be a little bit too powerful, because I think Call of the Haunted at 3 is a little too powerful, and that's saying something. Also, tell me what you guys think of down below. If you think Monster Reborn should come back to 1, and we'll talk about the next card in a few days from now. See ya.